Chapter 1. Fisher, Spassky. In 1969, I carried that wonderful vigor and optimism of youth in its very prime. Graduating from West Virginia Wesleyan College, I had married my college sweetheart and was eager to start my career, whatever that might be. But the Vietnam War was still dragging on. In 1967, the year I turned 19, my lottery/draft number came up 123. We watched expectantly as the government announced the lottery numbers. 95, then 100, then 110. When it became obvious that my number would be called up, to avoid going to Vietnam and combat, I signed up for the delayed draft so I could graduate college and begin the Army after our choir brass ensemble tour through Europe in the summer of 1970. So, Fort Meade, Maryland is where I was stationed for 2 years, 9 months, 2 days, 5 hours, and 10 minutes. Although I hadn't heard them perform, I was told that the first U.S. Army band featured nearly 100 musicians on stage and traveled in style in what was described to me by their director, Mr. Amy, as 2 luxurious air-conditioned buses and a support team in a moving van for the equipment. We'd be traveling up and down the eastern seaboard performing concerts. He said they carried 2 timpani and a portable piano. I foolishly figured they had roadies that moved all their gear. Ha. Of course, we would all work up quite a sweat, loading and unloading all that gear for every concert, which made the buses smell like a locker room. The reality was, we would take off from our Fort Meade, Maryland ancient condemned barracks at dawn, drive for 4 or 5 hours to some remote high school in Pennsylvania or New York to promote and help recruit for the Army. Then we would return sometimes as late as 8 or 9 o'clock at night. It was far from the glamorous life Mr. Amy had described. We spent many, many hours in those cramped, smelly buses, so there were lots of stories, a lot of jokes, and a lot of reading. Comic books to engineering textbooks, the tastes were all over the map. In 1972, we traveled during the highly publicized Fisher-Spassky chess matchup. America had never been able to compete with the Russians at chess, and all America was proud of Bobby Fischer. A number of us would cram around the small portable magnetic chess set, while one guy would read out the moves, one at a time, from the daily newspaper. Then somebody else would make the moves on that little chess set, while all the Pennsylvania highway scenery rolled blandly by outside the steamy bus windows. Looking back on it, I realized what fools we were to think we were understanding those chess moves. We would debate them as if we had an inkling of their strategy. "I can't believe he moved his rook." Or, "Why did he wait so long to castle?" And at the time, we all felt quite smug.